Good morning. Good morning. Hello. It is I, Kayla G, with Big Sister Sesh. And we are here for another off the cuff episode because we got some good feedback on that last one. So here we are. Here we are. Today I am hella tired, in case that wasn't super clear. But I'm very tired today. I stayed out very late last night, 12 p.m. But that's late for me now. And I woke up at like 7 and I'm tie. If I don't get 8 to 9 hours, I'm tired. That's it. So forgive me if I'm a little low energy, but y'all will be just fine, I promise you. We're gonna rock, we're gonna roll, we're gonna get through this together. Today I wanted to talk about um not drinking alcohol. And I have reached, I think I'm at like 150 something, 160, 160 days of not drinking alcohol. And I just wanted to speak on that experience a little bit as someone who previously used alcohol for a coping mechanism, a social lubricant, like a all of the other things, like a way to socialize. And yeah, I'm just gonna kind of speak on that. So I would say first and foremost, I'll talk about the health implications and things that I've noticed since I've cut back on, or not, didn't cut back, I eliminated it. So since not drinking alcohol, I can see a huge difference in my skin and my puffiness. Um, and I'm someone who's like super prone to getting puffy, like when I eat like a lot of gluten or if I like eat stuff with seed oils in it, I can see it in my body that I like I just look puffier. And alcohol was something that I just chronically looked puffy because I was drinking every week. And like me being a curvier girl, I still feel like I have a pretty good jawline for someone who's curvy, and I attribute that to like first of all eliminating alcohol, but also doing things like wash on stuff. But I think just eliminating alcohol has made me feel a lot less puffy. Other health implications that I've noticed, or just like health wise things, is I never spend a day in bed anymore. I haven't spent a day in bed in probably 160 days because I'm just like I don't need to. Even when I'm tired, like I still feel like I can push through. When I was hungover, I was spending, I'd go out Friday or Saturday, sometimes both, and I would spend most of the day in bed on Friday or Saturday and Sunday. And now that I don't do that, I just get so much more shit done. Like I can do this podcast. I really wouldn't have time for it if I was spending time in bed because my brain was no worky when I was hungover. And it's really nice to not waste so much time. And that makes me feel really proud of myself, which is a whole other thing. The shame that I felt around drinking, which I'll touch on for a sec now, I guess. Um, I would say the biggest reason I gave up drinking was all of the shame I held around it. It was for health purposes too, because I spend a lot of money on supplements and like I spend tons of money on my groceries buying organic, grass fed, blah 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 blah. And like I meal prep and I take hours out of my weekend to meal prep and I take hours out of my day to work out and I take all these measures towards my health, and it felt like I was just going backwards every time I drank alcohol, and I felt like I was never going to reach that next level of health because health, and I say health like not just like physical health, like spiritual, mental, emotional, all those things I felt like were being hindered by alcohol. And sidebar, this is such a good drink. It's not sweet. It doesn't have any like of that fake sugar bullshit in it. I got it from the 99 Ranch Market, but it's all real stuff. Carbonated water, yuzu juice, lemon juice, natural ginger extract. And it's not sweet. I don't really like all these sweet like poppy drinks. I love like a bitter drink. This feels like I'm drinking like a mocktail. So, sidebar. Uh, but with the all okay, so all those health implications. And fuck, I'm so lost. Blah, blah, blah. So yeah, I was spending like a ton of money on all that shit. Blah 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 blah. And I was like, okay, that's part of it, but another major part of it was the shame that I felt around like all of the major shame moments that I've had in the last couple of years have some way been like they can be linked back to or directly related to alcohol. So whether it was like something embarrassing I did at a bar or like blacking out and not remembering what I did and like the anxiety and having to text people and be like, "Hey, was I fine?" Like trying to be low key, but actually I'm freaking a fuck about it. And then the things like the shame around getting so fucked up that I don't do the things that I wanted to do the next day. And even if I wasn't getting like blottoed, I was drinking enough that like I felt like shit the next day and I'm not a 22-year-old anymore. Like I don't know, the switch from 24 up, like I don't alcohol doesn't I can't recover the way I used to. I like need a day in bed whether it's 2 glasses of wine or 14 beers. Like I need pretty much the entire afternoon to recover. And like that stuff was bumming me out because I had so many plans for my life and so many things I wanted to accomplish. And every weekend I was just like sitting in bed with a fucking hangover and feeling sad about it and like not even being able to rest really because I was just feeling shame. Like even though I was laying in bed and watching TV, the thoughts in my head were like, "Oh my god, like you should be reading a book, like you should be working on all these side projects that you have, like you could be learning something right now, you could be doing something for your health right now, and instead you're sitting in bed vegging out, probably ordering food, probably spending so much money." And that's a whole other thing, yo. Like all the money that I spent, I was averaging at least $200 a weekend, and that's when I was being frugal. And the way that I would be frugal was super unhealthy too. I would take a bunch of shots before I went to the bar to save money, but then I would be fucked up and want more drinks. So I would still spend the money, and then I'm spending money on Ubers and like for what? For what? And it's just anyway. So I felt a lot of shame. I like was thinking about all the things that I could be doing. Why am I doing this instead? Some of the other reasons I quit drinking was like I unfortunately have that gene where like once I start drinking, it's really like if I have one or two drinks and I know I'm just going to dinner, I'm fine. But like when I know I'm going out, it's really hard for me to have that off switch. Like I typically don't have it. I'll just keep drinking. And I knew that about myself. I know that it like runs in my family and I just like kept having experiences where I was like, okay, I'm only gonna do this. I'm only gonna drink two like hard liquor drinks and then I'm gonna switch to beer the rest of the night. And I never ended up doing that. It was always like, shots, nah. And all other things like the activities I was doing, like when you like I would look around sometimes and just be like, what am I doing? Like this is like so this isn't even fun. Like there are times when it's fun, but like there were most of the time the things that I was doing, I was like I don't like all of these people are like so fucked up. They're doing weird things. Like I don't want to be here. I'm too old for this. Like what am I doing? What are some other things? I guess those are like the main reasons why I stopped because I saw like I just started to see it for what it was and see myself for who I was when I was drinking and realized that I hated it. And I like really my only option was to stop drinking because I have dabbled with I've dabbled with like taking a month off, taking a few months off, like only drinking on the weekends, blah 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 blah. And I've done that for a couple years, like knowing in the back of my head I should probably do more. And then like it always turned into like the longest stint I did was probably for 3 or 4 months. And as soon as I started drinking again, I was just like drinking, drinking, drinking. Like the intention was always like, oh, I'm going to take a tea break, essentially, a tolerance break. And so then I'll only get drunk on like one glass of wine. And it never turned into that. I would just rip it and hated that. Um, yeah, like I've known for a long time that like alcohol just probably isn't for me. And I don't think there's anything wrong with drinking alcohol. I think it can be a beautiful part of people's lives. I think a glass of wonderful wine with a beautiful meal is delicious and fabulous. I just unfortunately like can't be one of those people just because of like the way that I am. And yeah, so this is not to like shame people for drinking alcohol. It's probably going to come off that way and I don't care. I'm sorry. Not really. But like it's not to be shameful. It's not to shame other people. Like this is just my lived experience. And if you want to do that and that's fun for you, then do it. But like here's another perspective that not a whole bunch of people talk about. So bye. Um all right. Now, I will say I'll kind of go through like chunks of time. I would say the first month I decided to stop drinking. It was December 27th, and December 27th was my first day like sober, like not drinking alcohol. And I drank a lot over the holidays. I always drink so much over the holidays and I hate it. I always feel like shit. I usually get sick when I come back. And what happened was I got real drunk over the holidays, and then on the 26th, me and my sister went to a comedy show and I got really drunk again. But for some reason, like not like terrible, like we were having a great time. It wasn't like blackout moment, but I was drunk and I was like, man, this is like the 10th day in a row of getting like more than two drinks in, and I'm feeling it, Mr. Krabs. And I basically, after that night, I woke up. I don't really know why the flips, what happened. Like, I don't know what triggered it in that time, to be honest. I think it was probably a combination of like personal and professional feelings. But at that time I was about to start a new job on January 2nd. And um like all of the thoughts that I just shared about like my health and the shame and blah blah blah, like all those kept coming up. I had a really shameful event happen in November when I was drinking, and like I would wake up for the whole month of November. I would just wake up and be like like oh my god, like anxiety. I had a dream about that night. I like made a complete ass out of myself and I was so fucking embarrassed. And like it probably had to do with that. Like I was thinking about that again, and a new year, new this, and I just decided like, you know what? I'm just going to take I think I started with saying like a month off, and like especially cuz I was starting the new job. I was like I'm not going to drink this month. Like I just need to blah 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 blah. And so I did that, and I actually to my friends who are listening, I'm sorry. I'm about to snitch on myself. For New Year's, I'm sure they probably knew, to be honest, but New Year's Eve, I had made plans with some friends and I really didn't want to go anymore. I just because I didn't want to drink, and like I didn't know how to handle myself at that time not drinking out. And I was like, like I have work the next day and da, 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 da. Like I really don't want to go out. I want to have a great day on the first. I want to like wake up and feel refreshed and not feel any regret and tired and hungover or whatever. So I lied to my friends and I was like, hey guys, I'm feeling really sick. Um, and I just said I was feeling sick, and I was feeling run down from 10 days of drinking, but like normal or like old Kayla would have powered through. And I just was like, okay, I'm sick. I'm gonna stay in. And what I did was beautiful and so fun. And I took some pictures that I'll maybe post on the gram, but I ordered my favorite sushi place and I made this gorgeous um I made a really, really nice inspo board, which I haven't done in a couple years, and it was really fun to do. And I really took my time with it. Like I really, really visualized what I wanted, like not just like generic ass shit. I was like, what do I want my life to look like? What do I want to see every day to like put a little fire under my ass? And I made the boards. I'll probably post them on my Instagram or something so you guys can see. But after that, I kept them right in my bathroom is like big mirror, sink, and then like empty space, and I put them right there. So every morning I was looking at them and just being like, that's me. Um, and that was just a really great way to ring in the new year. And I was feeling really empowered. And I would say the first month I felt great not drinking. Like I didn't find it super hard. I feel like a lot of people don't drink in January, or like at least take it easy because the holidays are the holidays. And I feel like a lot of people drink a lot. And everyone's like gym goals, blah, 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 blah. So it wasn't super hard in January. And because I started a new job, I was like so busy with work. Like I really wasn't going out. I wasn't allowing myself to go out much just because I wanted to. Ooh, I'm losing my voice. Just because I wanted to really crush it at work, which I did. But um so first month not too hard, second month not too hard. I would say the biggest test of not, and I've also like I babied myself into it. Like I knew I already didn't go out a whole bunch. That's a lie. I was going out kind of a lot, but like I knew I had to tone it down for this new job, for this new chapter of my life. Like that's stuff that I decided before I even decided to give up drinking. I was like, I need to like this is it. And um so I like told myself I'm not going to go out. Like that made it easy because I wasn't exposed to people like in that kind of setting. I would go out to dinner, like I would go out to a casual bar and like sit with people and get a mocktail. But I wasn't going like out. And then the first experience that I had like out was at a concert for it was Camel Fat at the concourse. And it was awesome. And I would say the biggest thing I notice about not drinking and going out is like two things. I think that not drinking connects you more to like your intuition and your spiritual realm. Like I think alcohol is a numbing agent and I think it like makes you tune out and not be able to like be in body and be like connected with the things around you. And because I wasn't drinking, like especially in the line of work I am, which is business to business sales, like in person knocking on doors, I pick up on people's energy a lot more and like very strongly. And it affects me a lot more than it ever has in my life. And going to this concert that I went to, it's a huge room with like wub 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 energy. And like it was really, really intense for like the first 30 minutes were almost unbearable. I was like, and I didn't really fuck with the opener. So I was like, I couldn't like lose myself in the music because it was kind of intense techno, and I was like, I don't want to be you. I don't like it. And but I was trying to play cool. I was with my very best friend, so that helped a lot. Like I wasn't with a group of strangers. I was with my very best friend and like two other people that I'm good with. So I felt like good, at least with my group of people. But like all of the different energies in the room felt so chaotic and I like had to like actively ward it off and like create my little bubble of like I'm good, I'm fine, everything's fine, everything is fine. It was not fine. It was fine. It was fine. But the first 30 minutes were super intense and then every like half hour got a little bit better, a little bit better. And by the time Camel Fat came on, I was feeling great. Like I was like, hell yeah, slay. Um but that was like my first moment out and I was like, I can do this. Like this is super doable. And it wasn't like I never felt like, oh, I wish I had a drink right now. It was just like, oh, like I feel my feelings. Like I feel things, I'm feeling them. How do I manage this? But I was never like I need to grab a drink. It was just like, okay, this is new. How do I deal with it? And you just deal with it by powering through and like becoming really strong in your ability to push off and like be in your body, which was an experience. And then the next like out experience I had, I think was also a concert. And this was also at the concourse. It was who was it? Walker and Royce. And I went with the same group of people and I felt so much better this time. Like this time, cakewalk, absolute cakewalk. Um, I would say the only thing is I I am like a silly goose time. I'm a silly goose girl. That's what they call me in the streets. They say, Kayla, silly goose girl. And it takes me a little bit longer to get into that silly goose mode and like where with alcohol I feel like my quips come a little bit easier. Like I think with alcohol you just like you're a little bit loose, you're looser with your like what you're saying and like things just roll off the tongue a little bit easier. And so my like fun little quips and like funny moment times when I'm drinking don't come as quickly or as easily, but they still come. It just takes me a little bit more like to feel comfortable and like have that time to think those thoughts, I guess. I don't know what I'm trying to say, but I would say that's the only thing that I felt at that time was like there would be a couple awkward pauses where I'm like, I'm sober. But it was still fine. that time I felt great, even though like the music at this one was Walker and Royce was great. The opener, Claire Blue was great, and then or Claire of the Blue, whatever his name is. Um, but the second guy, I can't remember his name, so bad. Like literally the worst set I've ever experienced. I'd rather go to a Pitbull concert. No offense, Pitbull, but you ain't my cup of tea. I would rather go to a Pitbull concert than see this DJ ever again. It was the worst set I've ever experienced. Everybody walked out. I'm not even kidding. Me and my friends went and sat on the floor outside, and we were like, because I couldn't even stand there and pretend to enjoy it. It was so bad. It was the worst. It was the worst fucking set I've ever experienced. I wouldn't wish it upon my mortal enemies. However, we got through that. We sat, we had a good time, we laughed, hee hee ha. And then Walker and Royce came on, I had a great time. Everything was great. And what's so cool is I don't gotta spend $30 each way on Ubers. How about that? I can just drive. Imagine that. It's nice, hun. It's nice. I'm saving so much money not drinking. Well, I'm really not because I use it as an excuse to buy clothes and go out to eat more. However, I love spending money on that stuff rather than fucking poison juice. What do you mean? So it's really cool to have a little bit of extra money and spend it on things that like aren't alcohol and like last a couple days or weeks or months or years. Um so yeah, that was my second experience not drinking. And then I would say the real test came this last month. So I've really not felt any temptation to drink like at all. Really at all. Like I've joked with friends and been like, "Are you straight right now?" But I'm like 100% kidding. I'm really fine. The real test came when I went on family vacation a couple months ago or a month ago in May. And it was totally fine, but like it was the first time I literally have been with my family without any alcohol. Like, not even kidding. We've spent, obviously, we don't drink every day when we're together, but like, it was, I don't know, it was just different and it was fine, but like, it just got on my nerves. I swear to God. I love my family so much, but like, they got on my nerves a lot easier. I'm realizing now how much alcohol, like, just sedates me. And I'm like, okay, just let them talk their shit. So that, I never felt, again, never felt tempted to drink, but I was just like, ooh, this is different. This is uncomfortable. And then the ultimate test came with my President's Club trip, which was a cruise with like all of the, like, you know, a big portion of my company and all the CEOs and like all the big wigs and all the big kahunas. And like it's very close quarters. You're with, you know, most people like were good about separating. Me and my plus one separated ourselves a lot, and like we're just like, hey, we're over here. But a lot of people did that, so it wasn't like, I don't know, whatever. It wasn't like super intense, like, ooh, a drink would help right now. But there were a couple times where I was like, ooh, like I'm uncomfortable, like, ooh, I'm like I'm feeling it. And it was still never like I've still never been like, I wish I had a drink. It was just like, I wish I didn't have this feeling. And I think that's going to be the biggest thing for me is just learning to push past that feeling where most people would just take a shot and like forget about it. Like I need to sit in it and like find a different way to get rid of it or just like be strong enough to deal with it. So that's kind of been my experience. But I will say there have been times where I'm like at that trip, the company left us a really nice bottle of champagne and chocolate covered strawberries in the room on the first day, and I was like, that's so nice. And it would be so nice to just have a little glass of champagne on our, and the boat had a balcony on the cruise ship, which is like in your room, which is not like, I don't know, it was like a beautiful view. You got to see, it was a big window, and like you could sit there and just look out into the ocean. And it would have been nice to have a glass of champagne, but I just put a Diet Coke in a champagne bottle or a champagne flute, and I went about my business, girl. Like, I don't know. Like, yeah, that would have been nice, but then I would have been for what? Like for what, you know? Um and yeah. So that's been my experience these last six and a half months. Oh no. I can't do math. 5.5 months. which is crazy. Like, it's so crazy to think that it's been that long. And I feel really good. Um, some things that have helped me are one, this is gonna sound so stupid, but like one thing I noticed, especially when I was out like dancing or something, is I didn't know what to do with my fucking hands. Like I would just have this empty hand and I'd be like I don't usually dance with my hands, and now that I had a hand free, I was like, what do I do with this hand? It felt like a foreign appendage, and I was like, okay, I just need like a cup of water. Like I just need a cup of something to hold. So I have my emotional security cup. And that's something that I started doing because it was literally like at that first rave. I was like, oh, I don't know what to do with my fucking hands. Like, and I put my phone away and then I had two free hands. What? What? I mean, I should probably learn to just like be okay with my hands, but for my little baby intro moment, I was like, okay, I'm just going to hold my phone because it makes me feel like secure, which is so stupid, but like holding a phone and a glass of something helps. Like just do it. It helps you feel less awkward. You're like, "Oh, I have something in my hand." If you feel awkward, take a sip of water, like you're fine. Everything's fine. Something else that has helped a lot is ashwagandha. So, ashwagandha, like I personally never like I've had it for a long time in my cabinet. I've had it for years, like different variations of it. And I've used it on and off. But this is the first time that I felt like, "Ooh, like I feel the ashwagandha." So I got a powder this last round and I would make it like a shot because it tastes like absolute shit. I would just like shake it up, make it, take it a shot, and I like instantly felt a little bit more like in my body and relaxed. And whenever I know I'm gonna be in a big crowd, I take that because it helps me like ward off the other energies. Um, so would recommend like if you're trying to be sober and like feel a little like if you have anxiety about it, that shit helps. I'll bring it out with me. I'll mix it at the table. I literally don't care. I tell people it's my grandmother's ashes and they laugh and they get a chuckle and I'm funny for it. And I feel good because I made people laugh and that's it. Anyway, uh, what else? Other things that have helped has been like doing events that aren't centered around drinking because just so many of them are. And like at first you're gonna feel like you're missing out, and I did for a hot sec, but like it literally lasted 30 seconds because up and I mean really the points that I was like I got to the point where I was getting pretty sick of it anyway. um and like I went out last night for a friend's birthday and I had so much fun. We had a great time, but then there was just a certain point where I was like, like I was just like, and I want to go home. Like everyone gets to a certain point where they're on a completely different astral plane than I am, and I'm just like, but I look around and I'm like, I really don't miss this. Like I love being with my friends and I love dancing with my friends, but like I really don't miss this environment at all. And you kind of notice like this ain't it. Like this is not it for me. I don't wish to be here. Uh, so yeah, you realize you're kind of not missing out and like other people are missing out on life, on like doing things for themselves because I love waking up. I woke up at I got home at like 12 last night. I fell asleep at maybe 1. I woke up at 7:30 because my body's just like at usually fucking 5 a.m. But we slept in. We had 6 hours of sleep. We walked to the coffee shop. We drank a coffee on our way back. We laid on the ground. We touched grass. We touched grass for so long. We FaceTimed a friend. We had a lovely chat. We got home. We cracked open a Sanzo yuzu sparkling water with ginger. And we started filming, and it's like 10 o'clock, 10 a.m. That feels great. And I have a whole full day ahead of me. Like I'm gonna get so much stuff done, and I love it. I literally love it. Um, so I don't know, like it just feels good. And like I know I shouldn't fall into like the superiority complex, and I really try not to, guys, but God, Lord forgive me, I am a Leo. I'm a Leo, okay? And my ego's the size of this room, baby. Like It really is. And so when I do like I have a bit of a superiority complex and I try to keep myself in check, but like it feels good, okay? It feels really good to feel like I've got a lot done today and like a lot of people are probably hungover and shit. And I'm like, well, that's interesting. I'm kidding. I'm really not trying to sound like that girl, but like I'm trying to find the balance of like feeling prideful and I'm not putting others down. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm just feeling good about myself and it comes off a certain type of way, I feel. But I'm not going to keep justifying it. um what else? Another thing that I've noticed since I stopped drinking is my connection to like my intuition and my like spirituality has deepened tenfold in the last 5 months. Like I feel so, and like with the energies thing, like I feel so connected to the earth and to the world and to God and to the universe and to my guardian angels. Like I feel them, I see them, I hear them all around me. And that sounds ludicrous. It sounds like I'm schizo, but I'm literally not, baby girl. Like I don't literally hear them, but like I feel so much more like embodied and like I just like feel like I feel that, bro. Like I feel you. And like I've just prayed so much harder and when I meditate, I feel like I get so much closer to like that state that you want to be in. And it's like it's pretty cool. It's literally pretty cool. Um and what else? I don't know. I just like I guess I would just say I'm really really proud of myself. Like I've had a bad relationship with alcohol for a long time. I've known that I've wanted to do this for a long time and now I did it. And it's something to be really, really proud of. And I do feel that way. And if you've contemplated taking a break, I think you should. I really think you should because, like, and it's not forever. And that's the thing. Like, I told myself 1 month and then I realized how easy and doable it was. And I just kept going. And that doesn't mean you stop forever. But, like, if the idea of taking a month or 3 months off drinking, like, like like does that like that lean into that, dude. Like that's not good. That means you probably like should um and do it. Just test yourself and like see the clarity, see the physical benefits and like all of these things. Like oh my god, bro. And just something that you might be afraid of is like losing friends, and you probably will lose some, especially if, I'll put it this way. I have actively, since I moved to Austin, sought out relationships that don't revolve around drinking. Like that's something that I put in my um bio for Bumble BFF and when I posted on like the girls like hang like there's like a meeting group where girls can like post a little thing about themselves on Facebook and like you like are like hey you sound cool blah 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 blah, but I'd like always wrote like I'd like relationships that include but don't revolve around drinking. And before that, like when I was in college, I got really lucky with the friends that I made. Like my roommates, my best friend, like we got fucking wrecked together, but we also had like genuine friendships and I'm still friends with them to this day. And I know that like one of them moved here and two of the other girls, like I know if we hung out, we don't need a drink. I know that for a fact. And like my other two relationships, again, we all studied abroad together. And I know for a fact that like it's so much deeper than that. Because they live in different states and we still have a relationship and we're like this. Um but a lot of those did revolve around drinking. Even though I know most of them are deeper, there are a lot of relationships that, like especially in college, I had a big group of friends, and there was like probably 20 of us, if not more. Like there was like the core group and then the extendos and like the group adjacent, and most of us don't talk. Like I follow some of them on Instagram, and you know, that's pretty much it. Like we don't talk. We really really don't. And those relationships at the time seemed like this, and now it's like, oh no, like those were just drinking relationships. And that's fine, and I'm really not pressed about it. But when I moved to Austin, I was like, okay, like I moved here with the intention of living here for a really long time. And I think that, knowing that, I was like, I need to find friends that aren't just going out friends. Like, I need to like specify that because I don't have time to waste anymore. I'm very much in the like I already feel like I wasted a lot of my time, especially due to that last relationship that I was in a couple years ago. I dated him for 3 years, and I feel like I lost those 3 years. I feel like I lost 3 years of my life. So I am always like, I need to just no bullshit, setting boundaries. Sorry if we don't vibe, we don't vibe. Like nothing personal. I'm just like I'm here to make forever friends and find my tribe. And that's like the mentality I went into when meeting these people. If like we didn't vibe the first time, like there's a difference between not vibing and like vibes might have been a little shy or like vibes might have been a little off, but like you see potential in someone. But like you pretty much know with your girly pops. Like there are not too many people that I've met, didn't hit it off with, and then became friends with later. Most of my friends that I have now are people that we instantly shot the shit and were like, we were like this, or like some we knew we were going to be like this. We weren't like this immediately, but like the potential was there for sure. And with that, I don't know where I was going with that. um oh right, I just went down 13 rabbit holes with that. you know um so what I'm trying to say, what I'm trying to get at is you might feel afraid to lose friends, and to that I say suck it up, buttercup. Because I mean, not suck it up, buttercup. One, if you're scared to lose friends, like let's analyze those friendships for a second. Are these friends people that you like? If they're not friends, if you're not drinking, are they your friends? Are those relationships you want to maintain? Are these people that you can run to when you're having a mentee B? Are the people that you only drink with friends that you can call when you're having a mentee B? Did that sentence make sense? So I just think like doing kind of a rain check for yourself. Are these friends that like, and it doesn't mean you cut them off. Like I have someone in my life who is scared to give up drinking because they're like, I'm going to lose all my friends. And I'm like, but like, listen to the words that you're saying. Oh, they're only friends with you because you drink? Oh, you're only going to be friends with people who are drinking? Like, the only behaviors that you can bond over are drinking? Huh? Make it make sense. Huh? I digress. And even if you don't even want to stop drinking, but like if all of your relationships revolve around drinking, take a step back, baby. Like I told this person, okay, you go out with the same people or like generally the same kinds of people Friday, Saturday, sometimes Sunday. What if you take one of those nights to make an account on Bumble BFF or find the group in your city and go out with a different girl and see if you can find like with the intention of finding a person that doesn't drink or like doesn't drink as much or wants to do something other than drink. 2 hours out of your week that would take. Why wouldn't you do that? Why wouldn't you do that if it meant, and like most just I'm gonna go down a rabbit hole. I'm not going to. But like I don't know, if you're not willing to take 2 hours out of your week to potentially set yourself up for a better future, fine. But don't wonder why. You know what I'm saying? Like don't, that sounds harsh, but don't at some point the pain of staying the same has to outweigh the pain of doing something new and different and scary. And sometimes it just takes a little bit longer for people to realize that. And maybe you're one of those people, maybe you're just not ready yet, and that's okay. But like if you instead of going out one night sat with the pain of like, oh, I don't have friends that I can call to just come over and watch a movie. Oh, I don't have friends to call when I'm upset and they won't go out drinking. They'll choose going out and drinking over like supporting me. Like blah 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 blah. Sit in that pain, write it out, weigh it out. What do you want your life to look like? What friends do you want to have? What do the friends you want to have do in their own life? Like what kind of behaviors, what kind of activities do you do together? Do you have any of those things in your life right now? No? Do something about it. Do something about it. And if you feel like you can't do some things because you don't have these friends, like, girl, go out and do them. Go out and like join the running club, join the meditation group, go to yoga, do all the things you can do to like meet those people. Meet those people, like suck it up. Don't like I know doing things alone and like doing things like it's scary. Duh. Like yeah, it's scary, but bro, like everything is scary. And want to know what's scarier? Staying in the same fucking place and being exactly where you were a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 4 years ago, 5 years ago. Get comfortable doing the uncomfortable is something like people at my work always say. Like, I face rejection every day. Usually 20 to 40 times a day. I get no, 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 no. Get the fuck out of my office. No, 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 no. Face rejection, face your fears. It's going to build confidence in yourself. You're going to feel more confident doing these things. You're going to not need alcohol. You're going to be doing things that don't even revolve around alcohol. Like, yo, I don't even know what I'm talking about anymore, but like, I don't know. I just think if you can't do that for yourself, that's an act of betrayal. I'm not even talking about drinking anymore. I'm just talking about like finding your tribe too. And like you can drink and have fun and do all these things, but do you have the right people around you? Like are these people that you can drink with and also call when your car breaks down or like blah 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 blah? My nail just fell off. Yeah, I'm a DIY nail girly. Shut up. I'm gonna glue it on in a sec. I think I'm done. I hope this has inspired you to either chill on drinking, give up drinking, or find some better friends. Or just find your tribe and like find yourself and connect to your purpose. And not drinking really helps that. And if you have health goals, especially, quit drinking for a little bit, bro. Just don't do it. This is the end. Period. Goodbye. I love y'all. Thank you. Bye.